Hi, I'm Larissa Bohensky from the Pulse USA Morristown. Today we're here with the Mayor of Morristown, Tim Dougherty, where we'll be asking him some questions about Morristown and his experience as mayor. Thank you so much for your time today, Mayor Dougherty.
My pleasure.
Now, what originally inspired you to run for mayor?
That's a broad question. So it's a number of things. I did a lot of time volunteering in Morristown when I first got here. I was a single parent, which is somewhat known, but not widely known. So I was raising a son, and I got very involved in the things that young boys do, and baseball, and that was really my main thing. So I got very involved in coaching baseball and met a lot of people in town. And then I met a mayor, a guy named Norman Block, and he took a liking to me and heard good things about me, so he asked me to get involved in the board in Morristown. I became a zoning board member. And that's kind of started the whole idea of understanding government and how the town worked and this and that. But what really triggered it was a request that I made for a slow down children's playing sign on my street. As my street was a cut through, had a lot of traffic, and I just didn't seem to be able to get that sign. And it kind of got frustrated. So after about a year or so, I decided I'd just run for office and get it myself. And I did. I lost my first council try, but I won my second one. And I did get that slow down children playing sign. And that was really the catalyst that got me more involved in Morristown. Something that simple. It was nothing I ever dreamed of. I never thought I'd be in politics or ever run for office. It was not something I ever dreamt about or had a drive to become an elected official. But it seemed to fit. And here I am all these years later.
Really worked your way up.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah. That's just a small piece of it.
So now in your fourth term, how have you seen Morristown change since you've been mayor?
Well, from when I first started in 2009, when I got elected, Morristown was not in the best financial place or had a lot of issues. We had about $250,000 in surplus when I took office. Sadly enough, I had to lay off about 17% of the workforce when I first became mayor, which is not an easy thing to do. But what it did was it allowed me to make a decision early on as mayor, and that really catapulted me into making decisions and not staying on the fence or in the indecision. And that was the beginning of it. And over the last 16 years, obviously we've had a lot of investment in Morristown. There's been a lot of growth. A lot of young people have moved here. One of the things I like to look at when I first started on this road being mayor was I never saw like moms walking down the sidewalk with baby carriages. And today I see that all day long. And it just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, that we've seen that type of change. And we see the youth that is in Morristown. And that's really kind of what we've done, is really grown the town in a way that for future generations. You know, as my generation goes further along, and now the younger generation comes up, and you see a lot of new kids, and the schools are filled, and so it's really a good feeling.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's really been bustling recently.
Yeah, it's a happening town. There's no doubt about it. There's a great vibe in Morristown, and it wasn't something I did. It was a collective group of people. There's a lot of people involved that makes these things happen. It's the right planner, it's the right vision, it's the right development, it's the right financial investments. There's a whole number of things that has to go right for it to be successful, and we've just been fortunate that way. Very blessed.
So where do you see Morristown going in the next few years? Like, how will the town evolve?
That's a great question, and it's a hard question to answer because you don't have a glass, crystal glass, crystal mold to see what the future holds. I think that you know, you have to have continued investment. One of the things I try to stress as I go through the budget season in Morristown is we're a nonprofit town. So close to 30% of all our property doesn't get taxed. So we're always behind the eight ball in finance. So we have to continue to look at ways to reinvest in Morristown and bring in new dollars to offset the costs of government, because whether it's health insurance, whether it's just pay raises, whether it's just the cost of living, it increases every year. And you have to find ways to not overtax people to keep the government running. I think over the next couple of years, I'd like to see more of the county be involved in things in Morristown, because the state and the county has a lot of roads throughout Morristown, and being the county seat, I'd like to see the county commissioners be more involved in Morristown and come up with a way to help support more of the county seat. And I think at a state level, being that there's so many different county seats in the state of New Jersey, that maybe that the state legislature could come up with a device or a way to get stipends to county seats to help them offset the nonprofit loss of taxes for our community. We're big supporters of nonprofits in Morristown. Being the county seat, we deal with every aspect of every issue that any county seat deals with, whether it's the homeless issue, whether it's housing, whether it's just everyday nonprofit work that gets done. We don't get those tax dollars, but yet, we're the ones carrying the load for the county. Other communities obviously do their part, but we take the brunt of the nonprofit status. And, so it's always a little bit of a struggle financially, but I see in the future, you see the growth, Morristown Medical Center. That's the #1 hospital in the state. They need to grow. Our community continues to invest. North Park Place is something that I've been working on for a number of years. That's going to be the final piece of the green. Some more stuff down on Spiegel Avenue. The town is developing to where it eventually will be fully developed. Where because we're only 2.5 square miles and we have a big business district, but I see better retail. I'd like to see more soft retail, not just restaurants and investment houses, but more soft retail. And I think the youth will continue to come here, and I think people will move here instead of having to go to Manhattan or Hoboken or Jersey City. That they'll come and live in Morristown. And I think that's the draw. That we are not Hoboken, we are not Jersey City, we are Morristown.
Yeah, it's a great vision.
Yeah.
And that's all for our interview with Mayor Tim Dougherty. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned for more with the Pulse USA Morristown.